Many might call him a freak of nature or even a monster, but Hong-Man Choi is one of the greatest Korean MMA fighters of all time. He might not be so famous, but this man is a legend. Standing at 7 feet tall and weighing 350 pounds, the name Hong-Man Choi brought the greatest fighters trembling to their feet. He fought many great MMA fighters like Fedor Emelianenko, Mirko Cro Cop, and even Jose Canseco. Yep, that's right, even Canseco, the famous baseball player. So if you're ready to hear the legendary tales of Hong-Man Choi and relive some of his greatest battles, stay right where you are, and let's get this video started. Hong-Man Choi was born in South Korea on the 30th of October 1980. He started his career as a Caesarean wrestler in Asia back in the 90s. He won his first title back in 2003 at the Caesarean Championships against his longtime rival Kim Jong-un. A year later, he reached the finals again, where he was defeated by the same Kim Jong-un. You could tell Choi was destined for greatness because right after that rematch with Kim, there has never been anywhere a fight of such physical proportions between two athletes has taken place, and that goes for every combat sport around the world. It was an instant classic, but sadly, Choi lost the title. Prepared for his kickboxing career by K1 fighter Nicholas Pettas, he debuted in K1 fighting at the World GP event in Seoul back in March 2005. In final elimination, he faced famous American kickboxer Bob Sapp. Bob Sapp was pretty famous in Japan, so it was a tough one to decide who wins. This is one of the most popular fights of Hong-Man Choi. The fight started with both fighters swinging forearms with very few actually connecting. If you know Bob, you'd know he's very dangerous in the first few rounds, but one edge that Hong-Man Choi had over Bob was stamina. At the end, Choi won the fight by decision, but later lost to Remy Bonjasky in the World Grand Prix final. Choi decided to take some time off before returning in the 2006 K1 World GP in Las Vegas. He came in ready to be the champ. He started with a unanimous decision win over Sylvester Turkey, aka The Predator. It was at this time he got former Japanese Korean K1 fighter Kim Tae as his new coach. Kim Tae transformed Hong-Man Choi to become the great and scary fighter everyone knows now. One of Choi's most notable fights was against current K1 world champion Semi Schilt at the World GP 2006 event in Seoul. The fight was unique due to the enormous size and weight of both fighters. Semi himself was a giant, so there was no height and reach advantage for Choi as usual. Still, Choi did enough for the judges to give him the unanimous decision win. Being as big as Choi has its advantages, but what happens when you're too big to fight? On March 4, 2007, in the World Grand Prix in Yokohama, he was knocked out for the first time in his career by kickboxer Mighty Mo. Mo landed his trademark overhand right to the chin, and Choi wasn't able to stand up. A lot of fans who felt the overhead strike wasn't enough to keep Choi down later realized that Choi weighed into that fight at 365 pounds. That's way too big. He was very slow in the fight, and even Choi himself admitted that that might have been his worst performance in kickboxing. On August 5, 2007, at the Asia World Grand Prix in Hong Kong, he beat Gary Goodridge by KO at 1 minute 34 in the first round. But one thing to note about this fight was his stance. Since his K1 debut in 2005, he always fought using an orthodox stance. However, in this fight, he adopted a southpaw stance. This was a strategy by his coach Kim Tae for an eventual rematch with Mighty Mo. He got his rematch a month later at the K1 final eliminations in Seoul. Fighting with the southpaw stance again, he redeemed his previous loss and defeated Mighty Mo by decision. The win was disputed because Mo was able to land many hard hands on Choi's head, while the Korean missed most of his shots. Mighty Mo was quoted in the post-fight interview, "He seemed a little bit stronger because I hit him with some good shots and he didn't fall down. He must have been practicing taking punches." After 3 consecutive losses to Jerome Labana, Badr Hari and Ray Sefo, Hong-Man Choi decided to transition to MMA. On December 31, 2006, Choi fought his first mixed martial art fights on K1 Dynamite, facing former TV star Bobby Oligan. He destroyed Oligan in just 16 seconds of the fight. Oligan attempted a flying knee once the fight started, but ended up landing on the ground where Choi ended things with some hard ground and pound. Choi's team felt confident he could dominate the world of MMA. They decided to book a fight against one of the most well-rounded fighters in all of MMA, Fedor Emelianenko. Fedor was on a massive 23-0 win streak at the time, and this fight was one of the most anticipated bouts in the Yarennoka event under K1 Dynamite. Choi opened the fight, landing on top of Fedor during a takedown attempt. Fedor then tried to get Choi in an armbar lock but failed due to the strength of Choi. The sequence repeated itself until finally Fedor showed the difference in experience and locked in an armbar that made Choi tap out. That loss to Fedor had a huge mental effect on Choi. From then on, his career went straight down the hill. Hong-Man Choi took a long break away from fighting. His body was slowly giving up on him, so he needed to revitalize himself before going in for another fight. After a year away, he faced another legend of MMA, Mirko Cro Cop. The fight lasted over 6 minutes as Cro Cop found it difficult to strike against the larger Choi. He did land multiple low kicks throughout the fight, enough to send Choi straight to the ground due to the level of damage it caused, and finally ended as a KO victory for Cro Cop. Choi's next MMA opponent would be for the Dream promotion. He faced retired baseball player Jose Canseco in an MMA match on May 26, 2009 as part of its Super Hulk tournament. Choi redeemed his losing streak by defeating Canseco in less than 2 minutes of the fight. Also, our task for you today won't take up 2 minutes. All you have to do is go down and subscribe to our channel and comment "I subbed" in the comment section to earn a free shout out in one of our videos. It's pretty fun, so hit that subscribe button and comment "I subbed" right now. Choi then advanced to the semi-finals at Dream 11 and was slated to face Ikuhisha Minowa. Minowa, who was obviously smaller than Choi, resorted to creative takedown and guard pulls to bring the match to the mat, but Choi used his size and strength to shut down his game plan. Eventually, Minowa landed some damaging knee strikes, which Choi retaliated to by landing some ground and pound later through Minowa's guard. In the next round, however, Minowa took Choi down and immediately locked a heel hook, making Choi submit. Choi was expected to participate in Dream 14, which was supposed to take place in Seoul, South Korea. But many factors, including the issue that many top Korean stars, such as Dennis Kang and Choi himself, were not available in April, contributed to the event being cancelled. In April 2008, Choi joined the Korean Army for his 21 months of military service. After failing 2 medical tests, he was relieved from his military duty. The main reason was a problem with the sight in his left eye, which was as a result of a brain tumor. On June 9, 2008, the tumor was finally removed through surgery. Choi did not compete in any competitions between October 2009 and July 2015. He frequently appeared in TV shows, game shows, and a few movies during those years. Many critics believe he never reached his best shape after his long break. Even though he was technically very limited and mostly lost to the best K1 and MMA fighters, his greatest strengths were his very good chin, overall punch and kick resistance, and a very strong Muay Thai knee strike. In July 2015, after 5 years and 9 months of inactivity in combat sports, he came back to MMA under the Road FC promotion. He ended his time with Road FC with a 2-2 record, including another loss to Mighty Mo. Whatever the current situation might be with Hong-Man Choi, it can't be disputed that back in his prime, he fought the best of the best fighters like Bob Sapp and Akabono, who usually dwarf their opponents but look small next to the real-life giant Choi. Hong-Man Choi might be the most successful MMA giant and will always be remembered as one of the greats. Make sure you check out this other video showing on your screen, and bye for now.